This is the Astros Postcast, your instant game reaction for the Houston Astros, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Well, not exactly how you wanted to come out of the All-Star break for the Houston Astros as they go up to Seattle tonight. And they keep it close most of the night. And then Hector Neris comes in because Lord knows he needs to be on this team. And goes ahead and gives up a bunch of runs at the end. And the Astros end up losing this one to Seattle by a final of 6-1 after that 4-run 8 for the Mariners. Hello and welcome tonight to the Locked On Astros Postcast. I'm your host, of course, Michael Connor. Thank you for joining us. As the Astros now at 56-40. Now my page just decided to update. 56-41 on the season with the loss tonight to the Mariners. Tonight's episode brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. All right, what is it that you're talking about more than anything else from this one?
This is what you'll be talking about.
I mean, look, I always mention this when we do a show like this. Astros lost tonight. They deserve criticism, and it's a game inside of a 162-game season. We're going to talk about them like all the other ones. To an extent, you're always going to have to acknowledge when the other side does their job. Look, the other side, the Mariners, we've known this for years now. They're good at pitching. Luis Castillo's been a guy that's mowed them down for years. Castillo's great tonight. The Astros really didn't have a lot of opportunity against him. Really at all. And the Astros obviously get on the board. They're late in the seventh inning. But he was great tonight. And then their bullpen behind him was good enough. The Astros tonight absolutely wasted a brilliant start out of Brandon Walter. 6 innings of 1-run ball. Other than the home run, 7 strikeouts. He walked his first batter since it's been a long time since he's walked anyway. It's only his 3rd walk since he's been called up here. He was brilliant. He took a tough loss tonight. We talked about it before the All-Star break. You're going to things are eventually going to catch up to you offensively with the likes of so many players in this lineup, whether it's a Taylor Trammell or Dubon playing every day, or Bryce Matthews playing now every day. You know, the Astros got to get Pena back and they got to get Jordan back. They have to. Cam Smith's been in a funk. Altuve was horrible tonight. Absolutely horrible. His at-bats against Luis Castillo tonight were just downright atrocious. Then you got the guy behind him, of course, Christian Walker, who's been a big, fat dud at the plate all season long. Continues to be. And look, they only got 4 hits in the game tonight. That's the story of the game. You get 4 hits in a baseball game. Guess what you're not doing? Not winning. Unless literally all 4 of those hits come with a runner on base and you hit him over the fence. It's not happening. Sucks. Just the truth. The sky is not falling. The season is not over. They don't need to fire everybody. I'm sure everybody's going to go in. I haven't even looked at the comments. I'm sure it's all about firing this guy or firing that guy. Look, if they go through the weekend in Seattle and they get swept, then yeah. You're going to sit there and have some real things to be concerned about. Leading the West now at 4 games, which isn't exciting. You know, it got up to 9 or whatever. That was really exciting. Remind yourself this: when you want to jump off, the ledge and hit the complete panic button and overreact to a singular game in a 162-game season, please, I beg of you to remind yourself that it is a marathon. It is not a sprint. And these things always happen in a regular season to every single team. You will not be great all the time like they were in the month of June and into the beginning of July. And you will not be as bad as they are in the last week before the All-Star break and now the first game out of it. There's always a middle ground that ends up finding itself. They have enough talent to win baseball games, even with all the injuries that they have. They have enough pitching to typically do that. It will happen. Now, we want to talk about Hector Neris. I know that Hector Neris means a lot to them in the clubhouse and everything. I just genuinely don't completely understand why he's back. You know, if you're going to replace like Ort at some point, maybe okay, whatever. Man, this guy was bad for two teams this year. And you know the problem with Neris when it comes into games. If he comes in, he walks people. It's a recipe for runs to come. I don't really have a problem with using him in that spot. I thought it was a little interesting on Espada's part. You look, he really, and it's not just Espada. This is a game planning. This is an analytics game here. You saw how the Astros deployed their pitching tonight. They had a lefty starter, then they went all lefty until Neris. I think Cal Raleigh, they want to get him to the right-handed side of the plate as much as they possibly can in this series. And I think that's what you're going to see. But it ended up not mattering at all tonight. As you do end up, again, losing to this Seattle team. You hate that. The Astros and the Mariners now, I believe, tied 4-4 in the season series. It's important. That's another part of this. And you don't want to go there and lose this series because you'll give the Mariners or I shouldn't say that, you'd be tied up. And then that last series of the season against them, which won't happen, by the way, until the 19th through the 21st of September back at home. That one will matter. The winner of that series will win the season series. You'd rather go ahead and, grab 2 more wins here than only need 1 win in that final series. They got to bounce back, though, tomorrow. That is a guarantee here. Let's talk about that here in a brief second. Locked On Astros Postcast. Right now, though, I need to remind you guys about FanDuel. Summer sports in full swing, whether you're into, all about that baseball under the lights, golf on the green, big tournament going on this weekend, or high-stakes soccer action. FanDuel is the best way to make every game even more exciting. You're already following the action. Why not make it a little more thrilling? With FanDuel, you can get in on the game while your friends are getting sunburned on the beach. Been using FanDuel to track my favorite matchups, and the app keeps it fresh with new daily promotions and fun ways to bet. It's easy to use, fast to pay out, and makes even regular season games feel like must-watch events. Whether I'm placing a same-game parlay or watching a bet ride into the 9th inning, FanDuel makes it feel like I'm part of the action. New to FanDuel, new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. Open the FanDuel app today or visit FanDuel.com to get started. Astros losers tonight to I was going to say Philadelphia Phillies. I don't know why. I just saw something. I was just reading something a minute ago about the Philadelphia Phillies. To the Seattle Mariners tonight. I'm your host. Thank you for joining us live. I'm Michael Connor. If you listen to this podcast later on, thank you. Make sure that you come and join us. You can always join us live when the show ends or when the game ends. We are here. And then, again, you can listen to it later on. Wherever you get your podcast, go and search for the Locked On Astros podcast, and it is available to you there tomorrow. They're going to do this again. Another late start, of course, being out on the West Coast. An 8:40 first pitch tomorrow, so not as late. We will be with you as soon as the game ends tomorrow night, where Lance McCullers Jr. goes up for the Astros against Logan Evans for the Seattle Mariners. He's 3-3 on the season with a 3.75. We know McCullers has been up and it's been down. When it's good, it's good. But it has, when it's bad, it's bad. He's pitched well there, in the past. They got to have Lance McCullers come out and be a dude tomorrow night. There's no other way around it. This team cannot afford to go out and lose another baseball game tomorrow night the way that they've played of late, which has not been the world's greatest baseball. So, again, as soon as the game ends tomorrow night, make sure you come back here. Join me for the Locked On Astros Postcast. Appreciate you guys watching. We'll talk again tomorrow night after Astros and Mariners.